Good morning. Give everybody a second to hop on here. Hi, Jackie. How you doing? I feel like it's been too long since we've had a chit chat. I think it's just me and you so far this morning. Morning, Cameron. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Sunday morning? Actually, it's not beautiful here at all. So we're having a really late winter here, and it's not uncommon for us to get winter super late. Or like typically we do, like our winter is pretty late, obviously, being in Canada, but this is like absolutely ridiculous. We've just had snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm throughout March and April. So the other day we got like another 10 centimeters of snow. It's like super kind of like foggy and hazy. It's still snowing. It's like -11. Um, so yeah, we did get a couple of 20-degree days and then it went right down and now we're coming back up again. So hopefully this will be the end of our winter coming up here. Yeah, my health has been really bad all winter. It's like I think it was a combination of like our weather swings that we've been having, and then I've been working too much. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Been working way too much overtime. We were short staffed for a while. I went through campaign season. All of my accounts blew up at the same time with all kinds of things. I took on a new account. It was crazy. So yeah, I'm still kind of like coughing a little bit from that cold laryngitis sore throat thing that I had. So when I did my video last week, like I had a super sore throat and like my throat was kind of like my voice was gone and then it went straight into my head. So it's like I had like back to back sort of things that were different but related. So now like I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but my voice keeps going. I'm coughing every time I lie down. So I'm just trying to I was planning on working like my adult job all weekend this weekend. And even Matt said he was like, that's probably not a good idea because I actually have a tattoo booked for next weekend. Um, so he was like, if you don't rest this weekend and you go through a whole other week, then your tattoo is not gonna go as well. And they do hurt more when I'm stressed out. So I kind of agreed and decided to kind of keep it on the DL for a little bit. We went out and did some stuff yesterday, and then today is just I'm actually spending a lot of time in the library today. So yeah, most of us I think are still waking up. I do like doing these early morning, like usually I do early morning sprints. This is just kind of a hangout because I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things. But we usually have a whole morning crew to do sprints on Sundays, or I did it for a while and then it kind of dropped off. But I want to get back into it again because I find Sunday mornings is kind of like the perfect time to do a hangout. Dreary and rainy. I wish it was rainy here. I'm kind of sick of the snow at this point. I'm actually a winter lover. Like I don't mind winter at all, but this year's just been nuts. And just like with the 30-degree weather swings that we've been having, it's insanity. And like it's really bad for the migraines, like living in the mountains and stuff when the weather swings that badly. So I wish it was raining. I think we're supposed to get a bunch of rain this week though. So hopefully it cuts through the snow and we'll kind of be over that deep winter kind of thing that we've had going on. But yeah, it's been crazy. The wind has been blowing at like 80 kilometers an hour. Um, so yeah, it's been kind of nuts. I did make a new addition to the library yesterday. I'm gonna see if I can show it. I'm sorry if I make anybody dizzy. Uh, I did get a new mirror an antique mirror for above the fireplace. So I've been looking for one exactly like that for quite some time. And I had one locked down on Facebook Marketplace, but of course I ended up being with a not so nice seller who forgot to put it outside and she was gone to work and I drove for over an hour to go pick it up and then it wasn't there. So that was kind of crappy, but I ended up with this one. So super, super excited because it kind of makes that wall look a little bit more finished. And the mirror still has to be sealed. I haven't done it yet, but so I'm going to do that today. So really super, super excited. I think it looks great with the purple. And then I think most of the house will be done kind of like without those brass kind of accents. I have an antique lamp upstairs that's like really, really cute. Um, so I still have to do my house tour. It's one of those things like I'm like, I just want to add one more thing and one more thing and one more thing before I do it, but I do just have to just get it done because you guys haven't seen like my wood stove yet. You haven't seen the witchy parlor. Anything that I've done with the main floor. I got a new antique table a couple of weeks ago. So I need to show you guys that. Oh, that sounds like fun. I well, I mean, our outdoor events haven't started here yet, but Matt and I are going to a circus at the end of May. It's like this Royal Canadian Circus, and they just set up in one of the mall parking lots. And so I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's brutal. It's really, really brutal. Like on the head, do you get headaches when the weather swings that bad? I know I do. Yeah, I'm excited to show you guys, and it's one of those things, it's like, I don't want anybody to think like I live in like this gothic mansion or anything, like the ones that you see on TikTok where people show their houses, but with what I have, I'm trying to spookify my everyday life. So, slowly gathering like more antiques. I've gotten into like taxidermy and that kind of thing. Fresh paint, trying to come up with ideas of how to make my house a little bit more me. Because for years and years, it was always like beige walls and all of that kind of like show home sort of thing going on. And I wasn't happy with it at all. So finally started, I think it was last year, to invest some things to make my space a little bit more me because like Matt and I are very much homebodies. And so yeah, definitely getting rid of the beige and stuff has helped me feel a little bit more like this is my space. I love the purple down here. It's funny because on the paper swatch, and even when I kind of swatched it on the wall, it didn't look at all like what it turned out like. And even when we did the fresh paint, it wasn't at all what it looked like now. But after we let it sit for a day, it was absolutely beautiful. Like I love the purple down here. Matt really likes it too. And I have to work on sorry if I cough. Yeah, this cold is just it won't let go. But I've got my Halloween tree set up over here and it's orange. And the orange and purple along with the kind of the fire in my fireplace looks really nice. So I never thought that I would have orange accents with the purple, but it looks really, really good. So I want to get some more like bookshelf lighting. I need a little bit of guidance on the bookshelf lighting. So if anybody has any suggestions of things that they use, I know a lot of people use like purples and greens, and I kind of wanted to stay away from what other people are doing. So definitely let me know if there's like specific brands that you guys use that would work for kind of like behind me on my bookshelves. Speaking of bookshelves, I do have to get some more for the other side because like our physical media collection, like all of our DVDs and stuff, is starting to get really big now. So I wanted to do the other side of the basement, kind of like with our movie collection and everything. So we haven't been out thrifting for quite some time. We tried to go yesterday, but it was just, I think because it was kind of a crappy day, like everyone was out. And usually Matt and I like to go early in the morning, and it was like mid-afternoon and there was kids everywhere. And I was just like, no, I can't. It's just too overwhelming. So we came home. Um, but I did want to talk to you guys about a couple things. Like, first of all, any kind of ghosty chat. So the house has been really settled lately, which has been nice, especially because I have brought more antiques in the house. Um, so the house has been really, really settled. I do have to do another cleansing. Like I said, the new mirror has to be sealed. I'm doing more spell work in the witch's parlor, which I can't wait to show you guys. Like, I need to tell you the story of the cabinet that I bought. It's my haunted cabinet, and I swear to God, the thing leads to Narnia. It's it's like the spatial awareness of this cabinet is insane. So I've got to show you that, and I've got like a really cute little secretary's writer's desk up there, and I'm going to be doing some crafting and stuff to kind of make it my own a little bit. So the house has been really settled, which has been nice, and I've been doing a lot more kind of like I did a spell work this morning and last night for a friend of mine that just finished up, so that was super fun. Try to reconnect a little bit with all of that instead of just being, perusing the news or watching TikTok, doom scrolling, that kind of stuff. But I did want to talk to you guys. There's only a couple people on the stream right now, but I did want to talk to you guys about the channel and kind of ideas or like where I'd like to go with it because couple things. So, like, it's gonna remain like I mean mainly a book channel, obviously, but there's so many things that I want to talk about that's kind of like adjacent to talking about like horror books and gothic books and all of that kind of stuff. So the first thing was I tried to start another channel to talk about movies. And I talk about movies sometimes like on my main channel, like, if we're doing old school April, like I talk about old school April movies that I'm planning on watching or like Yuletide movies that I'm planning on watching, but no actual movie content. So I tried to do this a couple of years ago where I asked people or I started actually branching out into talking about other things or like when I did like my Halloween videos and stuff like that. And like people full on got mad at me. They were like, I'm here for the books and nothing else. I'm unsubscribing. And it's like, okay, so I decided to talk about something else for a video and you're not gonna support me anymore. But I'm kind of at the place right now in my life where it's like I don't really care what people think. If they're going to stay, they're going to stay. If they leave, they're going to leave. I have to make sure that I'm doing stuff that's fulfilling to myself and that I enjoy. And I don't think talking about movies is too far removed from talking about horror books. I mean, like Cameron talks about movies on his channel. Robbie Miles, same thing. It's books and movies, mainly on Instagram, but of course he has a YouTube channel as well. Kasha talks about books and movies, and so what do you guys think? Are you okay with if I start branching out and not talking about books solely in all of my videos? I'd like to kind of loop everything in together because number one, it's more content for me to talk about in one space. And number two, it's just easier for me to run one channel with one video a week, possibly two videos a week. If we're working in the movie content rather than trying to run two separate channels. And it's one of those things that's like people say, you have to have a niche, you have to have a focus for your channel, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or whatever. They're like, you have to be a specialist in one thing. And I'm like, but I'm not. That's not me. Like, I'm not only a book person. Like, I'm a movie lover, I'm a music lover, gothic lifestyle, that kind of stuff. So I just kind of wanted to bounce it off you guys, see what you say. It's always risky, exactly. Way less views, way less comments. Yeah, I've just been really on the fence. Like, do I go with the second channel or do I do it all on the one? Because then the other thing is, like, I would like to talk about like other things outside of books, like what we're doing with the house, talking about antiques, talking about taxidermy, doing kind of crafting together. Like I'm going to be doing, talk about risky stuff. I have an antique love seat up in the parlor and I'm planning on getting some fabric paint and redoing it because I can't afford to reupholster it. but I want to redo it. But the other thing is, do I just work those other things into vlogs? That I do, like, say, once a month, where it's like, I just kind of compile all the little things that I'm doing during a month into, like, say a 20-minute vlog or a 30-minute vlog, and just show the updates for the house, but still leave, my 3 or 4 other videos a month as a book focus, and then leave the movie chat on a completely different channel. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, and I just wanted to kind of bounce it off you guys, see what you think. But it's just hard because, like, it's always difficult when people say to you, like, I'm not subscribing to you anymore because you're not talking about solely books. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence with it. I don't know. That's so sweet. Come for your personality, stay for the bucks. Always down for content. It's nice to see all sides of your online personality. And that's the thing, like, and I know, like, you and I, Jackie and Cameron, and a lot of us, like, in this little corner of BookTube, we're all very real people. Like, we don't put on a facade, we don't put on a show, we don't, like, there's no scripting, there's no, you buy things to make it seem like you live a certain lifestyle when it's not really um, kind of real life or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying that any of us do, like, in our little spot, but some people do, it's a whole thing, and their voice changes and all of that. But I try to keep it very real around here. So I don't know, maybe I do like one video a month that it's talking about movies, and like I said, maybe I wrap that into some kind of vlog, or just do like a watch list wrap up or whatever. I don't really know. Um, I mean, the other thing that I could do is try to get that second channel up and running again. Matt and I have really been kind of enjoying watching, like, doing like movie watch marathons from specific years. So like we did one not long ago that was like we watched movies from 1988. And we wanted to make sure to watch some of our favorites, of course. Like, Matt and I are serial rewatchers. Like, we watch our comfort things, and we're missing out on a lot of other things that we haven't watched before, but it's like always been on our watch lists. So like we watched all movies from 1988. So like I want to do like a whole thing about, movies from that year that we love and other ones that we experienced kind of like first off. So yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to bounce it off you guys. Yeah, the two channel thing is hard, especially because like my work life is so demanding. Um, and I had that conversation with my boss the other day, like, I can't keep going like I'm going. And it's like, it's cutting into the other things I love. It's cutting into my reading. It's cutting into my writing. It's cutting into like other things that I want to do. Um, yeah, and I've picked up writing again, which is something else that I wanted to talk about. So like I feel like I have all these things to talk about, but like it's hard to just jam it into, one video a week. And two videos a week seems like a lot. So I don't know. I'm not sure which way I'm gonna go with it yet. Same thing with my tattoos. Like, I would love to talk about my tattoos more. And maybe do a tattoo tour. I can't remember if I ever did a tattoo tour with you guys, to talk about, like, not all of my tattoos have meaning, but a lot of them do, and it's all kind of tied in. Like, all of my tattoos started, I didn't start out like this, but it all started to tell a story. And so I would like to talk about that as well. And it's funny because, like, especially on these live shows, but like outside of that too, I'll be talking about books and people just automatically start asking about my tattoos. So um I don't know. I wanted to kind of talk about that too. But again, maybe that's something that I wrap into more of a monthly vlog. Um, I think I'm going for my sixth or seventh session this year, which is probably another reason why I'm not really getting better because I'm just constantly like hammering my immune system with all the tattooing. But yeah, I've got another session lined up next Saturday and I'm super, super excited about it. So yeah, I wanted to talk about tattoos as well. Like I have a lot of loves, but they're kind of all intertwined. Like it's books, movies, alternative life, antiques, taxidermy, tattoos, witchy stuff, all of that kind of thing. So maybe I do that. I kind of tie it into like a monthly vlog of like other things that I'm doing outside of books. Like it won't be a bookish vlog, but it'll be like say a video diary of other things I've got going on in my life. Um, so yeah, general vibe of upcoming videos. I mean, that could work too. You know what, Jackie? We need to do a podcast soon, sometime. I often tell people about the March Madness that we did last year, where we talked about creepy kid movies. And it was like one of the best experiences. And it was like this whole recording marathon. Um, so we've got to get the crew together for another podcast, which is something else I would like to do. I really have got to quit my adult job because it's interfering with all of the things that I love and all the things that I want to do, which of course I'll never be able to do because there's no way I can make any money doing this. So vlogs are a nice way to branch out into other things. Yeah, and I'm thinking that, like, maybe just do like a monthly vlog where I talk about the other things that I have on the go. So it's not like it's completely invading my channel because sometimes, you do a movie that's kind of like adjacent to books and then like everybody freaks out. I've had that kind of reaction, and I mean, I have nowhere near what Cameron has. Um, so it's kind of like it's one of those things. Um, yeah, we've got to come up with a topic to discuss. Paranormal, maybe psychological horror. I don't know. I haven't watched Heretic yet. With Hugh Grant. Oh, did anybody hear that there's a new Longlegs that's going to be coming out? Apparently they're doing another Longlegs movie, and I think did that come out in 2024? 23 or 24, and it was one of the to me it was one of the best movies of that year. So we've got to get together and talk about something or other. Demonic horror, maybe? Did we do a demonic horror one? Can't remember. Yeah, I think I might go the vlog way or like do more of these live chats. This one is a little bit of an odd time because I haven't done the early morning sprints for quite some time. We had a whole crew that used to get together to do them. So maybe more sprints or more hangouts where I can talk about other things. Maybe the movie chat is like with a live hangout. I don't know. Maybe something like that might be a little bit fun. I'm just looking for ways to zhuzh things up. It's not that I don't like BookTube. I love BookTube. So no, like YouTube will always be my main platform. Like a lot of people are transitioning over to TikTok because it's shorter length videos. It doesn't take as long to edit and all of that kind of stuff. Um, but YouTube will always be like I have a lot to say. I don't shut up. I talk a lot. And so YouTube is always going to be like my main sort of channel. Um, but I'm just trying to figure out ways to zhuzh things up. If anybody has any ideas for like different kinds of videos, that would be great. I mean, the hauls are great. Book collecting and book reading are kind of two different hobbies, I find. Talking about what I'm currently reading, but like right now, like my old school April, I'm so frustrated with my old school April because um this month was supposed to be when things calmed down for me, and it's been absolutely insane, plus getting sick on top of it. And this happens every year. And I feel so bad because, I get so excited and I do these TBRs and all of that kind of stuff. And I can't get to half of what I have planned because my life always blows up in April for some reason. April and October. Who knew? Of course. But hopefully they've done a few hires, they've done a few promotions into our group, into the project manager group. So I'm hoping that I can kind of shift things around a little bit. My account director and my boss are talking about how to make things a little bit easier for me. Because I'm kind of my account level is a little bit more advanced than some of the newer people that are there. but hopefully we can get all the training completed and make my life easier. But my old school April has been going a little bit okay. Um, when I'm sick, I can't read. Is anybody else like that? Like people always say to me, "Oh, you spend the weekend in bed, you must be reading a lot." And I'm actually not because when I don't feel good, I can't read. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is like that. Still haven't planned my birthday episode yet. You could definitely join for that, especially since our birthdays are close. There's an idea. Absolutely. I remember, was it your birthday episode, Jackie, where we watched Studio 666? And that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Rock and roll horror is another kind of thing that you can kind of branch out into as well. You know, I'm a fan of the longer form content too. TikTok, I think, is killing our attention span. Like Matt, like I scroll through TikTok and then I kind of got to stop myself. But my husband, all day, every day, I even said to him before, I was like, I like to know how many TikTok videos you actually watch in the run of a day. And I find with him, like, he's starting now to not even be able to sit through a show, let alone a movie. So I'm trying to break that habit with both of us. And I think I might do nights where there's no phones. Like the phones are gone. We're coloring, we're building Lego, watching movies. And then I would love to have Matt involved in discussing like those movies that we watched from 1988. There was another time we did a whole marathon where we watched movies from 1995. Um, it was great because like Hackers was in there, Mortal Kombat was in there, all of those ones. So we watched some of our favorites and then some new ones. And so I might get him a little bit more involved and that kind of thing because yeah, I find our doom scrolling is just ridiculous. It's getting to a really bad point. And yeah, so I definitely want to keep with the longer form videos. TikTok is definitely not my space, but maybe that's another place where I can do a different kind of content. Like maybe my TikTok is tattoo related or it's paranormal related or it's like well, probably not movies because, I have a lot to say when I talk about movies too. But TikTok might be another place where I can do a different kind of content and keep it on a different platform. But then you're again trying to keep two, three, four channels going all at the same time. And that way as well when I don't feel well. It's hard. Yeah. Okay. So it's not just me, which is good. I would love to be one of those people that like, if I'm kind of having a bit of a down weekend and, a little bit headachy or have a cold or something, to be able to read and I can't. I've been rewatching Road to Avonlea lately and it's so cute because Matthew rewatches it with me. He kind of makes fun of me a little bit because it's so outside of kind of everything else in my life with like heavy metal and horror and gothic lifestyle and all of that kind of stuff. And he's like, you're sitting here watching Road to Avonlea, which if you don't know what that is, it's a show, a Canadian show that came out in the 90s. It's on for quite a long time, 7 years or 9 years or something. And it's based in the town that Anne of Green Gables is based in. So it's very wholesome, period. It has a lot of morality worked into the stories. It's very warm and cozy. But I find like I need that, especially like if I'm super stressed out, I'm really overstimulated, and like my bipolar has not been well lately. I've been bouncing all over the place. And that coupled with my physical health hasn't been great. So I want something like warm and cozy. So I've been rewatching Road to Avonlea, which has been fantastic. And there's actually, they're sold out now. And I kind of hemmed and hawed on actually going myself. But I had so many tattoos planned that I don't, it wouldn't have been a possibility. But in PEI, so where that takes place, Anne of Green Gables and Road to Avonlea, um, they're actually this year was the first year they're doing a big convention. So it's a Road to Avonlea convention and it's a whole weekend and it's at the hotel that in the show it was the White Sands Hotel and in Charlottetown, I believe. And it's a whole convention and they have a lot of the actors and the people who created the show and Sullivan Entertainment and all that. Like it's an official convention. And I said to Matt, I was like, that's it, I'm going. That's it. I'm getting on a plane and I'm going to PI. And it just didn't work out for this year, but I think for next year I'd really like to go. So if you've ever seen Road to Avonlea or Anne of Green Gables, then it's that whole feel. And I want to have like a long black dress and a parasol with my big glasses and gloves and the whole thing. Like it would just be a whole, it's so Lizzie, it's not even funny. And it's funny because people often say to me, they're like, "Oh, you're so spooky and you're kind of scary." Like when it comes to my adult job, like I'm very mm, professionally bitchy, I guess, is probably what you would say I am. But then, of course, I have like this whimsical side. So that's my whimsical side. So I was super, super excited to hear that they were doing this event. And this is the inaugural year, and it's sold out. So a lot of people are going. So I'm hoping they're going to have another one. Fallen victim to no attention span due to Instagram Reels. It's so bad. And I think, like I said, I think I'm gonna get Matt to get on board with me to do like no phone nights where we go even like an hour or 2 hours that you have to watch 2 episodes of a show or one movie. And then work in ones that I have been on our watch list for a long time that we haven't really seen before. So it's so bad, and I think all of us are kind of falling into that trap. And then, of course, the 24-hour news cycle with all of the stuff that's happening in the world, and you just fall into these rabbit holes, you know? Starting your own podcast. Yeah, I still do. I still want to start my own podcast, but I've just fallen into this thing where like I have a book channel, I want to have a movie channel. I'm writing my book. That's based on my so it's fiction that's based on my experiences in the house that I grew up in, and then I want to have kind of a spooky paranormal podcast. So that's a lot. Like those are some big hobbies with some big goals. So like I think I've got to try to keep it fairly realistic for myself as well. Um, so we'll see. I'm that's why I'm trying to figure out what to do with this channel. To still keep it like, I'm getting a lot of love and excitement and everything, which I do, of course, but just like, do you guys have ideas for other types of videos? Do I bring in other types of content like the movie content or more vlogs or house updates and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of why I wanted to have this live. Number one, to like reconnect with you guys because it's always super fun. Sorry. But also like, where do I go? How do I fit all of this stuff that I want to do that's all related to each other? Um, and but still keep myself sane and not overdo things. Would you guys be interested? Like, I know it's kind of grown a little bit bigger in like um Canadian paranormal stories. I don't know if you guys would be interested. I did do a couple of episodes on the channel where I talked about my personal paranormal experiences, growing up in a haunted house. And then I did a couple that were just like really super popular Canadian ghost stories that I did as part of a Halloween sort of thing. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. I thought it would be fun to do most of the episodes where you're just telling stories or telling the history of a place, but then also maybe have other people send in their paranormal experiences. Um, so you could do like one episode that's like, we talk about personal paranormal experiences, especially if it was related to those kind of spooky places. Morning, Amanda. So happy to see you. Um, would love to visit PEI. So for anybody that's hopped on, I was talking about there's a Road to Avonlea convention in PEI this summer, in August, and I would love to go, but maybe next summer. And Matt even told me, he was like, I'll go. He was like, I'll go to the convention, or he was like, you could just go by yourself. So I thought it would be actually really cool to make like a trip out of it. So like, I could go to the convention. He can come if he wants to. I mean, he's watched Road to Avonlea 100 times anyway, and then just kind of see the rest of the province. He's never visited there. I was in PEI when I was 8, and we went to like Green Gables and we spent some time at splash parks and all of that, but I was a kid and we were traveling with family and stuff. So it'd be kind of cool to see it as an adult again as well. And it's a beautiful province, absolutely gorgeous. And the Canadian Maritimes are beautiful. And, if I'm traveling, as much as there's other places that I want to see, I think staying in Canada would, and just exploring the places that we have here would be a lot of fun. Quebec is another place that's really beautiful. And Matt used to live in Victoria in BC, which is on the west coast. I love BC, like of what I see of it in pictures and all of that kind of stuff. Their weather is beautiful, but I've never actually been there. So he wants to take me on a drive through the mountains, to go on the other side of the Rockies. So I think that'll be nice. The only thing is I get super motion sick like in the car and stuff. So I probably have to take lots of gravel to be able to go. Okay, so paranormal stories. It's so funny. A lot of times on these lives, like I do tell some paranormal stories, and people tend to really enjoy them. Like the last live show that we had, I believe I talked about the séance that I went to at Mystic Manor, which is in High River, Alberta, which is about an hour away from here. And I described like my experiences there as a spirit sensitive and going to a séance. They had one last weekend as well, and I was going to book tickets for it, and I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't because I ended up super, super sick. But there was also a witches market the same weekend, and so I said to Matt, I was like, okay, I want to go to the witches market instead because I want to shop for taxidermy. And then we ended up not being able to do any of it because I was deathly, like I had the plague. It was so bad. I like watching reading challenges or bingo themes. People gamify reading to mix it up into normal reading vlogs where they just pick up a book and chat about it. Yeah, I mean that's a good idea too. I've seen other people do that kind of thing. Um, and that's something that's been in the back of my mind too. Um, the only thing for me is like I try not to fall into the trap of like doing too much in the way of like planned reading because like I'm such a mood reader. So I don't know, that might be an idea that I can work in a couple of times a year or two. So we'll see about that. I'm actually reading I'm still finishing it off, but I'm reading The Exorcist House Genesis. So I think in 2023 one of my favorite books was The Exorcist House by Nick Roberts. So this is the second in the series, and I believe there's a third that's either out or coming out. And if you haven't read The Exorcist House, I would highly recommend it. Like it's one of those books that I haven't forgotten about since I read it. And then the second one is just as good as the first one. I put it down for a while. I was at like 80% complete, and then I put it down and I just picked it up again the other day, after being sick, and it's so, so good. And it's really rare to get a book that the second one is just as good as the first. And let me tell you, that's one of those books that it's like, I wish someone would make this into a movie, but I'd never be able to watch it because I think it would be too graphic. So, yeah, it's one of those ones, it's not hugely popular. Um, but the people like within the horror community obviously probably know about it. And just about everybody that I have heard talk about it really enjoyed it. So, have you read all three books, Jackie? Um, I didn't even know until a few weeks ago that a third book was even coming out. So I'm excited about that because it's so good. And I would like to read other books by Nick Roberts, like outside of the Exorcist House. So definitely, I'm assuming he has other ones. I don't know if they're within like the demonic horror realm. Like I don't know if that's his niche, but yeah, I'd like to read more from him. Maggie's Grave is another one that I think it would make a fantastic movie. And I gobbled that book up in like 2 days. But again, it would be another movie that I would never be able to watch because I think it would be too too graphic. Even reading it was like in a couple of places like, oh my God. I kind of had to rise above it a little bit. I know I'm a real wimp when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I guess that's the kind of leads into like like the type of horror that people love. Like I usually stick to, the paranormal, psychological, gothic sort of side of horror, but I do like to throw in a good slasher every once in a while. And with my old school April, it was kind of along those lines of like I'm really excited to pick up some YA, like good old YA cheesy horror. I had a Fear Street in there, and I had another Creep Over in there, and I haven't gotten to hardly any of it, and I feel really, really bad. But yeah, talking about niches of horror, I know I'm kind of babbling, talking about talking about niches of horror, like people are usually like stuck in their own sort of little space. But for me, I kind of dabble in this and that. But yeah, for the most part, it's like ghosty, paranormal kind of stuff. I want to pick up more off of my actual ghosty shelf, like like true paranormal experiences and learning about different places and stuff like that. And I think that would be actually really cool to work into like Matt and my travels. Like if we do decide to start to travel Canada a little bit, I think that would be really, really cool. To work in some ghost tours and some haunted places, like popular haunted places in Canada. There's a place out in Ontario. What is it called? I can't remember now. It's a mansion. It's a huge mansion, and they have like these big gardens and stuff. And they do this huge Halloween event where they do ghost tours through there and everything. So it'd be kind of cool to like, work some travel in around that where you're kind of like a traveling paranormal lover, I guess like what they do with Grim Life. I mean, those two are pretty much living my dream to like travel around and just visit spooky places. It would be so cool. And, to actually make a living off it is crazy. And of course, we have to show more love now to Grim Life than ever after their announcement a couple of weeks ago. And we're mega fans in our house, so we're not going anywhere for sure. Yeah, it's one of those things. So, there's more haunted places like around like I'm in the Calgary area, but I'd like to go up to like around Edmonton area and that usually Calgary and Edmonton, are I'm sure you guys have feuding cities as well. Usually people from Edmonton never want to come south, and usually people in Calgary are like, why would you ever go to Edmonton? But the one reason I would like to go up there is they have like haunted hotels and stuff. Um, so I would like to stay there, and it's a little bit cheaper than going to like Banff. So Banff isn't like right in the mountains, and they have a Fairmont hotel there that's actually called the Castle in the Rockies. But to stay there is like $1,500 a night, and I'm like, there's no way. I mean, even just to do it for an experience, there's no way I'm spending that kind of money to stay at a hotel. But to go up there just to have lunch and stuff like that is kind of cool too. And I don't think Matt's ever actually seen the inside of it. So there's a ghost butler there that if people are lost and they need help, usually he will come offer you assistance and then he disappears. There's the bride. The woman, it's like a classic woman in white kind of story, where she fell down the stairs, the marble staircase. There's two sides of the story. Either her veil caught on fire on a candle or she tripped and she fell. She died on her wedding day. So she's often seen either at the staircase or dancing in the ballroom. And then there's the story of room 814 or 817. And basically in this room, this man booked in, and he had his wife and kids or daughter. His wife and daughter were with him, and he supposedly went crazy in the room and stabbed his wife and daughter to death. Um, and the room was shut up, so it's actually plastered over. So nobody can get into that room because of the screams that would emanate from that room. And any time that the cleaners would go in to clean it, they would find like bloody handprints on the mirrors. Now, a lot of people say that's just a legend, and the hotel will tell you that room never ever existed and all of that kind of stuff. But if you go to that floor, apparently, if you do count the room numbers, where 814, I think it's 814 or 817, where that room is supposed to be, um like that number is completely missing and it goes to the next number. So it's like obviously there was a room there that was that number, but there's also like you can see the split in the baseboards supposedly. So it would be pretty cool to like go look at some kinds of that kind of stuff and like experience it. But like I said, for the for the amount of money it costs to stay in that hotel, I'm not sure if it'll ever be something we'll be able to do, but there's other ones around that would be kind of cool. So we don't really have anything booked right now just because Matt and I are both getting a lot of tattoo sessions. And the reason we're doing that is because like our artist, number one, he gives us fantastic pricing because we are kind of repeat clients of his. Um, and the other reason is because he's actually won a bunch of awards in the past year. And so I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to book with him anymore because he just keeps getting booked up. So we've been spending a lot of money on our tattoos lately, but we do have one experience booked for the summer, and I'm hoping Matt's not going to watch this because he doesn't know what it is. I booked it a couple of months ago, but we last year we went to a medieval fair, and he loved it. So between the booths and seeing all the costumes, and they had like sword fighting and all of that kind of stuff, like actual medieval jousting and that kind of thing, and he loved it. So I actually found this place in Alberta in Three Hills that they have a medieval encampment there, and it's completely immersive. And you can do um, like you can learn archery and longbow stuff and sword fighting, and you could take classes. They have like these huge medieval banquets that they do. So I booked us a weekend. Um, as our anniversary gift to each other because like Matt and I very rarely ever travel or do things like that. Like it wasn't cheap, but I thought it would be really cool, and he really enjoyed the Renaissance Fair last year. So I'm excited to do that with him. He doesn't know anything about it yet. I just told him that weekend to make sure he's not on call, and because he's going to be completely out of cell phone range. So that kind of ties into that whole conversation that we were having about like doom scrolling and too many short form films and all of that kind of stuff. Like there's no cell phones, there's no reception, there's no nothing. And we booked like this tent, and it's done like in the style of Lord of the Rings. And yeah, you should see it. It's beautiful. It's really, really cool. So we're going out there for a weekend and doing the medieval banquet and stuff like that. So now I just need to learn how to sew some costumes because it's one of those things, if you don't show up in costume, then you're the odd one out. You're not the nerd for showing up in costume like you probably should. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. So we booked that instead of me going to PEI. And I usually do take a break from my tattoos in the summertime, just because of healing, like with sweating and stuff. It kind of interferes with the healing. So that's really cool. So we've got that upcoming as well. Let me know if you guys are planning anything for your summer vacations and if it includes anything spooky. But I mean, that's pretty much it for us. Like I said, like we're continuing with our house projects. So I think what I'll do, I'll probably keep the book and movie content separate. Um, so this channel will remain a book channel. Keep it at one video a month, one video a week, plus do some some more lives and sprints and stuff like that. Reinvigorate my other channel. And then work in some vlogs, and that's probably going to be my space to talk about like other things that are going on in life outside of books. Like, I'll probably still talk about books too, but that's where I could talk about like tattoos and house projects and like just kind of life stuff. Um, because honestly, like as much as like I'm a huge Halloween lover, massive Halloween lover, you guys know this. But I'm more along the lines now of subdued Halloween love and subdued spooky love. Um, I found that Halloween now has become a little bit more mainstream, which is kind of nice because like it allows like more stuff out in the stores, more stuff out in the stores earlier and everything. But it's like everybody is all about Halloween now. So I want to do more events rather than like getting more decorations. And I'm actually starting to weed out some of my Halloween decorations now because I'm more along the lines of the everyday spooky and just gothifying my home permanently. So it's less of the pumpkins and bats and more of the antiques, taxidermy, dark colors, um, that kind of thing, and just like permanent kind of subdued spooky. So I think I'm going through a little bit of a phase in my life. Is that why like I'm kind of looking on doing a little bit of shifts here? I mean, I'm not young. We can't argue that I'm young anymore. We're coming up on double fours here, guys, in the summertime. July will be double fours, and that's insanity to me. So maybe I'm going through a little bit of a change in life too, and that kind of like works into what am I going to do with my channel? What am I going to do with my hobbies? That kind of thing. But I am excited to do a little bit more writing. I was talking to my friend Amy McCaw a couple of weeks ago. I was on sprints with her on her channel, and I always love being on with Amy because she's such a kindred spirit and we're very much the same. And like our partners are very much the same. And she was kind of giving me a few pointers for writing. She's got some exciting things that are coming up for herself. So that's super cool. Like I'm very, very proud of her. So she gave me a lot of tips, a lot of insight on how to work writing into a busy life. Because, like, with her, like, she works and she's a mom and all of that kind of thing. So, for me, like, I'm a career person, I'm always doing overtime, all of that kind of thing. And I just couldn't get any traction to get going. So she gave me a lot of pointers, and I'm really, really, really super excited to get this book written. And it's not the other thing is I think I finally have the hook. I had all the the baseline stories from growing up in a haunted house. Of course, it's all based on actual events, but I think I have the hook now, or at least the idea of the hook. And I'm really super excited to build that out. So I think between the two things, between her giving me a lot of pointers, and she said like we can hop on Zoom and stuff like that and just talk about writing like outside of like a public chat, which has been great. And then coupling that with actually getting that one idea that will bring the whole story together is really super exciting. So I do want to spend more time on my writing, and I have been spending more time on my writing. I've got the first few chapters now, at least the skeleton is built out, so that's super super exciting. Where are you going, Jackie, for your honeymoon? Are you coming to Canada? Let me know. I know you're probably not coming to Canada, but who wants to go to Canada on their honeymoon? But that's super exciting. If you guys don't know, Jackie just got married a couple of months ago, and it was beautiful. And I wish I could have gone to be there. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we've been on for about an hour. I've jabbed my jaws, I think, long enough. I really just wanted to, first of all, like reconnect with you guys and just kind of catch up and see what everybody's doing, what everybody's up to. My old school April has been a complete failure. Again, this year, 2 years ago, I was sick in April as well. So this seems to be a trend that when I come out of campaign season, I get violently ill. And so I feel really bad. And I just, I don't know. I feel really bad because, I tell Kelsey that I'm going to help host and then everything falls apart and I don't get to participate as much as I want to. My TBR falls apart and I can't participate in the lives and all of that kind of stuff. But That's it. We all have lives. This is a hobby, and it just didn't work out yet again this year. So, yeah, more live shows, more vlogs. I think I'm gonna stick with the two channels, and then super excited about writing prospects and getting this book finished. Let me know if you guys are excited about any upcoming videos or if you have any ideas for upcoming videos. Like, still drop them in the comments of this video or send me a DM on Instagram. I'm always up for chats on Instagram. I love connecting with people. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go relax for a little bit. I have to go check on my husband. He threw his back out this morning, so he's a hurting unit. So it was great to chat with you guys. It was a fun chat. Cameron, I have to send you a message on Instagram just to reconnect, and I have a question for you. Um, but yeah, this was perfect. Cozy cabin by a lake with a good hiking nearby. Come to Alberta, my dear, and I will let you know where you can go. I it's just lingering. It's so bad. I hope you feel better soon, Amanda. I'm gonna have a bit of a down day today, and I'll talk to you guys next week in a regular video. So have a great day, you guys, and we'll chat soon. Bye.